Hello everybody, this is Lollypop 081MLE here today and welcome to another episode of Lollypop Speed Art. Now, we are doing something a little bit different here. These ladies are the sisters of Trastámara, the daughters of the Catholic Monarchs Ferdinand II of Aragon and Queen Isabella I of Castile. The first here, this is Isabella of Aragon, her mother's namesake. So, Isabella of Aragon would become Queen of Portugal she first married to Prince Alfonso, the only son of John II of Portugal, who died in a riding accident, and her second husband was Manuel I of Portugal. And by the way, for all these, I used Marisop's takes of all the sisters, so here's for Isabella right here, by the way, and I will point them out as I discuss. At the same time, she was also Princess of Asturias, which basically is the Spanish equivalent to Prince or Princess of Wales, in a sense, and she was heir presumptive to the throne of Castile, though her brother-in-law Philip the Handsome of the Habsburgs claimed it, but the family played with the pretense. Unfortunately for Isabella of Aragon, she would die shortly after giving birth to her only child, a son named Prince Miguel, in 1498 at the age of 27. It also ended any chance of Manuel becoming King of Castile too, when their son died shy of his second birthday. It ended any of the chance of the kingdoms in the Iberian Peninsula becoming united under one crown. And also, Isabella was deeply devoutly Catholic and whatnot. And yeah. So the second eldest daughter in the Trastámara royal family in Spain was the one that actually was forced into confinement, but her descendants still rule Spain today. Yeah, and I'm American and I love royal history. But anyways, this is Joanna of Castile, or better known to history as Juana la Loca, aka Joanna the Mad. And like I mentioned before, all four of these pieces I based it off of all on Mara Soap's take of the royal ladies, and she also put in the references for her take too. Now, the painting for Juana la Loca, or Joanna of Castile, was based on a painting of her from 1500 when she was pregnant with the famous Holy Roman Emperor Charles V and Charles I of Spain. Now, again, I forgot to mention, all four of the sisters were educated not just with women's education, but they were also educated in philosophy, languages, math, and whatnot. So, that means canon and civil law, genealogy, the heraldry, grammar, history, math. And Joanna also studied Castilian, Leonese, Galician, Portuguese, and Catalan, and was fluent in French and Latin. Also, unlike her sisters, Joanna showed religious skepticism and little devotion to worship, which caused tension between her and her mother, Queen Isabella, especially at a time when, the Spanish Inquisition was happening. Yeah. So, we know Joanna would marry Philip the Handsome from the House of Habsburg on the 20th of October, 1496. And while Joanna's father ruled both Aragon and Castile for over a decade because of her mental health. And in the middle of all, Philip dying in 1506. Joanna and her eldest son Charles ruled together until Charles reached adulthood. Oh, and by the way, that cloak of hers with all the Spanish royal houses, oh my god, that was difficult. But anyways, speaking of her madness, Joanna was shown to be very intelligent, very competent, until she married Philip the Handsome. Some speculate Joanna may have had melancholia, depression, psychosis, or even inherited schizophrenia, which may have been aggravated when she was forced into confinement, and that may have caused her physical and mental condition to worsen. And some say she may have had a case of necrophilia after her husband's death. I'm not sure if this is true, but everyone likes to speculate that she slept with her husband's corpse before they had to bury it. I don't know. So again, here's the final piece. And through her descendant, Felipe VI is the current monarch of Spain. Now, the next royal would be Manuel's second wife, the sister of Isabella of Aragon, named Maria of Aragon, the Queen of Portugal. She was the fourth surviving child, born in June of 1482, and she had a stillborn twin. But usually the general consensus is that she had a twin sister, and others say she may have had a twin brother, and had a thorough education like all of her sisters, like so. But the one thing about Maria, this was even mentioned in the documentary about the 6 wives of Henry VIII, was that Catherine's sister Maria had no less than 9 children. And that's true. But before we get to that, her parents played around with the idea of having Maria marry James IV of Scotland, while they were planning for Catherine to marry Arthur, Prince of Wales. And the whole idea of it was that the sisters can keep the peace between England and Scotland. Well, we know England and Scotland would unite in 1603, but this is the 1500s. those plans did not go through. Well, Catherine did marry Arthur, but Maria did not, and it was because of her eldest sister Isabella's death. And Manuel was looking to remarry, and yeah, spoiler alert, he ended up marrying his dead wife's sister. Does this ring any bells for anybody? Oh yeah, that's right. I guess the Pope granted a dispensation in this situation like they did when Catherine of Aragon was going to marry Henry VIII. We'll get to Catherine again here, because yes, I did Catherine of Aragon again for this. Anyways, she had 8 surviving children that survived into adulthood. One of them would marry Charles V, Charles I of Spain, Charles V of the Holy Roman Emperor, and it reaffirmed the link between Spain and Portugal. Maria was serious and pious, who educated her children with the principles that were taught by her parents, maintaining close correspondence with them, got along well with her sister-in-law, the Dowager Queen Beatrice. She wasn't politically active, although she did occasionally persuade Manuel to act of mercy, somewhat involved in religious politics, and held court with both Spanish and Portuguese ladies in waiting, which King Manuel appreciated greatly. However, because she was pregnant during her life in Portugal, Maria's health deteriorated. Her very last pregnancy and the birth of a son that died shortly after birth in 1516 caused her extreme exhaustion, which put her in a state of mental confusion for a bit before she recuperated. Unfortunately, Maria ended up dying 6 months later as a result, and Manuel married Maria's niece, Eleanor, the daughter of Joanna of Castile, a year later. I'm like, oh my god. Intermarriages. This is what happens, keeping up with medieval and Renaissance Europe. And of course, it's also Habsburgs too. Let's not forget that. So, as you saw earlier, that was the portrait of Maria is from, some say it was from it was a non-contemporary one, but whatnot. This was like mostly, this outfit, this gold outfit she's wearing is all like, it screams Renaissance. But anywho, with Maria, I forgot to mention that all 4 of the sisters are redheads. Strawberry blonde redheads. And we'll get to Catherine in a bit. I actually put her in front of the coastline here, and I had a hard time doing that. And now we know a lot. Basically, before I continue onward, all 4 of my pieces of the sisters are up on my DeviantArt page, and they kind of remind me of the Hessen sisters and Otma in a way, because, 4 sisters, and they married very important royals for the most part. So anyways, yeah, the link to my DeviantArt is down in the description below if you wanted to see all these pieces. Before I continue forward and we get to Catherine of Aragon. So here's Maria of Aragon, Queen of Portugal, completed. And now we are back to doing Catherine of Aragon, the first wife of King Henry VIII. But this time around, though this is like the 4th time I did her while in like that portrait of her when she was Princess of Wales. Because remember, she married Henry's elder brother, Arthur. And they were only married for a short amount of time before, Arthur died of the sweating sickness or tuberculosis. And pretty much, Catherine of Aragon's history by now. She was the first wife of Henry VIII. They were married for 20 plus years. They had Mary Tudor, who would become Bloody Mary. She planned a battle with Scotland and had her troops kill James the Fourth of Scotland and sent Henry VIII James's blood-stained coat. And again, James the Fourth married Henry VIII's older sister, Margaret. But the other thing going on here is that Just a few months after I posted my Six Wives video, where I did Catherine as an adult, my great supporter of my historical fan art here, said she did not lead her troops to battle. Though I wish she did, but she did plan it, and she was heavily pregnant. And as we all know, Catherine's marriage to Henry VIII was annulled because of, oh, you guessed it, she was married to Arthur. And the whole trial, the whole divorce court thing for the annulment was all over whether or not Catherine's marriage to Prince Arthur was consummated. And the whole reason for this is because she couldn't provide a son and heir for Henry. And we know Henry is notorious for having 6 wives. Let's get that straight. But anyways, I haven't done Catherine here. This is the first time I did young Catherine of Aragon in this like burgundy maroon color dress. And contrary to popular belief, everyone always believed that Catherine always wore an English hood head. But in her youth, she did wear a French hood. And that reflects here. She is wearing a French hood. So she was very popular, even though a lot of people prefer Anne Boleyn. But anyways, like I said, all 4 of these pieces are up on my DeviantArt page at Lollypop081MLE. Link in the description below, along with all my other social media links, Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit. All same handle. Please subscribe to my channel. I post videos like this Fridays and Saturdays. And please ring the bell for notifications. I also do Lollipop Sings and Lollipop Discusses. I'll see you next time.